Is the Democratic Congresswoman Madeleine Dean of Pennsylvania. She is a member of the Appropriations and Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. I'd like to begin with the Signal group chat leak. Yesterday, the New York Times reported, and I'm going to quote here, people close to Mr. Trump say Mr. Waltz has been able to hang on in part because some in the administration still support him and because Mr. Trump has wanted to avoid comparisons to the chaotic staffing of his first term, which had the highest turnover of top aides of any presidential administration in modern history. You were in Congress during Trump's first term. Tell us how you think Donald Trump is handling the situation and how the administration so far has been handling the Signal leak and whether or not someone needs to be held accountable.
Good morning, Michele. It's good to be with you. And what I see in this second Trump term is the hallmarks of what was in the first term, just indecency and incompetence. I called for the resignation of both the Secretary of Defense, Hegseth, as well as Mike Waltz, because of what they did. What Waltz did in so kind of stupidly setting up this signal chain and inadvertently adding Jeffrey Goldberg to it, a reporter to it, in and of itself shows the incompetence, the inability to deal with very serious information, telling hours before an attack that this was happening on an app, a commercial app. We don't even know, and this is something we'll have to investigate, who was listening in, not just Mr. Goldberg, but who else was listening in. So I called for their resignations or their firings. But I got to thinking about it, Michele. I served with Mike Waltz. He was on foreign affairs and overlapped with me. And while he and I did not agree on much, he had a modicum of credibility. I think it's on Mike Waltz to quit if he wants to retain any of his credibility. Otherwise, he will be taken down by this administration for good.
Would an apology have sufficed for you if they had just come out and said, you know, we're sorry this happened, as opposed to trying to defend it?
Well, of course, that would have been a really important thing. It's dangerous what they did. And of course, Hegseth adding the classified information so gleefully to the chat, fist bumps and emojis by the group and all. That's really, really dangerous. But what I think is even more dangerous is how they handled it when it was discovered and revealed. They lied about it. They then went into ad hominem attacks against Mr. Goldberg, calling him a loser, a scumbag. This shows you the weakness of this top level of national security, including the very vice president of the United States. So I think it would have gone a long way to just honestly say, wow, we did that incredibly poorly. We will never put our soldiers, our intelligence officers at that kind of risk again. That would have been a great adult start. But that's not who's in this Signal chat.
Can we turn now to something that we saw when we first began this hour? For weeks now, Americans have been turning up to town halls and demonstrations to protest all the changes that this administration has been making. What do you make of this, the umbrage that we're seeing in town halls, that we're seeing at Tesla dealerships, that we're seeing at state capitals?
I'm very proud of the American citizens for being so engaged. I'll tell you, my constituents are engaged. They're going to community meetings. They show up on my telephone town halls. I did 2 telephone town halls as we were down in D.C. dealing with the beginning of this chaos. The first one just 2 weeks into this administration. After our phones had been ringing off the hook, we had 9,000 people on the line for an hour. Folks calling to say how anxious they were, how worried they are. And you know what they said the next day? Many of them called my office back and said, thank you. Thank you for at least telling us that you are there and you are fighting. We did another one a couple of weeks later. 4,500 people were on the call. What I believe has to happen here in this time of a slide toward autocracy and the evil moves of this administration is we have to rely upon the courts, and you've seen that, 150 lawsuits and many court orders upholding the rule of law. We have to rely upon Congress. We have to do our part in calling this out. We have to rely upon the engagement and courage of citizens. But the other thing that we're seeing at these town halls, that one you just saw with the paper cutout of Chip Roy, I call upon citizens and Republicans to call out the appalling silence of the Republican elected officials. Martin Luther King used that in Letter from Birmingham Jail. You worry about those who are very actively and openly doing the wrong things, but it is the appalling silence of good people that is even more worrisome.
I've been speaking to the Democratic representative of Pennsylvania, Madeleine Dean. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Dean, for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.